Vado? So first of all, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm really delighted to say you welcome. As you know, this event, we have been trying to organize it over the last 3 years, which has been, this conference has been delayed for obvious reasons, but I'm really delighted to give you the welcome. I'm Adriano Fontana. I'm the head of the Optical and Near Infrared Division. This conference started actually, I would say, nearly 5 years ago when Giuseppe Bono, who is somewhere here, came to me and started prompting me saying, look, there is a wide interest in the Italian community to join LSST, as it was called at the time. And so we started moving things along. And I'm delighted to say that today, Italy and INAF in particular is one of the major participants to Rubin and to the LSST surveys. Just to give an idea, we have 120 people, staff members who have expressed interest in getting data rights. We see the in-kind contribution as a way, as a great opportunity to contribute scientifically and actively to the project and not simply paying money, which is not bad, but anyway, it's better to do science together. And in particular, I'm happy to say that our engagement in Rubin and LSST activities has been increasing over the years. We have recently, for instance, we have been approved a major funding program to build a data center that will be hosted at the Naples University, and will be dedicated to support the activities and the data reduction and of the LSST data. And at the same time, we have recently obtained the use of the VST survey telescope, and we will dedicate part of the observing time of this telescope to projects, to surveys which will be complementary to LSST in many different aspects. But I think the most important part is to be able to be here. LSST surveys are also, to some extent, a sociological experiment. This is one of the largest project ever done in astrophysics, and will change the paradigm of how we access the data, we use the data for the next decades. So I'm really delighted to restart the physical meetings here in Rome after this long break. I'm happy to greet everyone online, especially people who woke up very early in the morning, their morning or night, to attend the meeting. Last but not least, I want to thank, first of all, the SOC and especially the local organizing committee for organizing this meeting, and the Accademia dei Lincei, who has given us an unprecedented support. I think Giuseppe will mention this later. This is not only the first big meeting after the pandemic, but also the first time they accept to organize a meeting across 3 different meeting rooms and give us such a wide space for the meetings. So said that, I think the best is ahead of us. And I'm happy to see that the first talk of the day is from Beth in representation of the LSST Corporation. Again, this is another indication that the challenges of LSST, the exploitation of LSST data is really something unprecedented. We need to think out of the box not only how to use the data, but also to collect funds and resources and how to factorize these all together. And so the corporation is an essential part of this business. Said that, I think I've spoken already too much, so I'm happy to lay the ground to
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to see you here in person and see you online for LSST at Europe 4, which has been in the making for a good 4 years. So we had a long lead time, and we hope we'll do justice to the conference this week. Am I sharing the screen and everything is okay? Let's see if I can move the slides. Yes. So welcome. It's about 245 people that signed up As always with Rubin, and particularly in Rubin for these international venues, LSSD at Europe in particular now, we celebrate the diversity and the international breadth of the Rubin environment. And we have about 30 countries represented here today. We have an extremely large number of scientific expertise and areas that reflects the complexity and aspirational impact that the Rubin survey will have. You see the representation of different scientific areas as mapped through the science collaborations. We'll hear a lot about the science collaborations during the meeting. We also celebrate the diversity of identities of our participants. We have a breakdown in gender using pronouns as a proxy that you can see on the left side of the slide. On the right side, you can see the breakdown of seniority and academic positions of the participants. We are particularly excited to have a number of junior scientists and early career scientists here, counting down from who identify themselves as junior scientists. It's 36% of the participants, and we retain this diversity when we look at junior speakers. In fact, even a little bit larger fraction of speakers in the various sessions will be early career scientists, and we are excited to provide them a venue to speak. This is a hybrid conference, which means that it's going to be very complicated, and everybody, we encourage you to be very patient with potential hiccups. The modality of participation is primarily in person. A lot of people will toggle both the platforms, and we have a large fraction of remote participants. To facilitate interaction between participants in person and participants on the remote platform, and among the participants on the remote platform, we're going to deploy all the communication on Slack. So if you have not joined our Slack, please do so. You can use this handy QR code. You can use the link that we sent you by emails. And in a couple of emails, I may say, I think you might have received this link 3 or 4 times at this point. Please do join the Slack, and I'll give you a quick preview of how we intend to use Slack for communication during the conference. So if you're not familiar with Slack, one of the most recent email with the link to join has a link to a how-to, and you can familiarize with the platform altogether. But essentially, it's an instant messaging platform that facilitates rapid conversation that is organized in different groups. So when you join the Slack, I think you should be prompted with this page. Hello, my name is. Please take a minute to introduce yourself and familiarize with the other people that have joined the Slack and have introduced themselves. The organizers of the conference, particularly the local organizers, are going to be pinned at the top of that page. So if you want to know who are the local organizers, to reach out to them for any questions, just go to hello, my name is, and look at who's pinned on that page. Every session will have its own Slack channel. So if you go to a session and you want to initiate a conversation about it, go to a channel which you can browse on the channel Slack. You can click on channels and browse which channels exist. The channel naming scheme is the kind of session that's parallel, plenary, synergies, or unconference, the day in which it happens, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., and the specific name of the session. Here is the parallel Monday desk for the Dark Energy Science collaboration, and I asked the organizers of the individual science collaborations to post a session program for each session at the top of the session channel, as well as identify themselves as the session chairs and moderators. And finally, there is a hopefully a one-stop shop for everything that you're going to need for the conference on the digital platform, and also local information, which is useful links. There you can find the link to Zoom, which probably is pointless because if you're listening to me, you've already found it for the plenary, but there's different links for the parallels. There's a map of the venue, and there's essentially all the links for all the things that you're going to need, including a link to the unconference. I'll get back to that in a second. The online participation is through Zoom, as if you're here, you already know. We have 3 different Zooms. You're going to see 4 here. I'll tell you why in a second. We have 3 different Zooms because we have 3 different rooms in which sessions might happen. Right now, we're in the plenaries. The short link for joining the plenary is ls.st EU plenary Zoom. That's actually the same Zoom as the conference elements that are going to happen in the room Scienze Fisiche, because that's the room where we're in right now. Some of the parallel sessions are going to happen in Scienze Morali. The other link is EU for SM Zoom, SM for Scienze Morali. And finally, the auditorium The link is ls.st.eu for auditorium Zoom. All these links are also posted, guess where, on useful links on Slack. Rubin is an organization that is deliberately committed to supporting an environment where everybody can succeed and be happy and healthy. The principles and shared values of the Rubin organization, which we want to share in this conference and all Rubin conference as well, are kindness, trust, respect, diversity, and inclusiveness. We will not tolerate any instances of bullying or harassment. To quote Karl Popper, European philosopher, since we are in Europe, there should be, we should claim in the name of tolerance the right not to tolerate intolerance. So we will not tolerate any kind of intolerance to our participants. We have on-spot persons for the conference if you shall experience or witness any cases of bullying, harassment, or aggression. Those are Aprajita Verma and Dominique Poutigny, and you can reach them on Slack directly or at the Gmail account that has been set up. They will help you navigate mitigation and reaction. Rubin is inclusive of all people. This means we're inclusive of people of any abilities. We're inclusive of the LGBTQIA community. We're inclusive of all the minorities that have been marginalized over the history of humanity from science and scientific endeavors. And this has to be embraced by all participants and all communities that join Rubin, regardless of what the socio-political landscape might be at the time. The principles of engagements and the code of conduct are described in some more detail on the webpage of the conference. So please review it if you haven't done so yet. It's split into topics so that you can see what we mean when we say we won't tolerate harassment, what are possible instances of harassment, and what to do if you were to witness or perhaps inadvertently be the perpetrator of a violation of the code of conduct. With that respect, I wanna encourage you to think about it in this framework. The impact of your actions is what matter, regardless of what the initial intention of your action might have been. Communicate with others with respect and interrupt any behavior that offends them if the participants ask you. Use the people's preferred pronouns. You will see them displayed fairly largely on the name tag. Use their preferred pronouns to refer to them. And I would ask them how they would like to be referred to and what the pronunciation of their name is. We are a very international community with many languages spoken. And if you do make a mistake and violate our code of conduct, again, focus on the impact of what you did, not what was your original intention. Apologize, and we can all move on and move forward. The code of conduct also includes details for the in-person interaction because we are still in a pandemic. To facilitate in-person interaction, we adopted the same strategy as the project community workshop of Rubin LSST this year. We have prepared stickers, which will be available at the break, might already be available at the front desk, which you can put on your name tag to indicate whether you're comfortable with physical contact or not. Green means you're comfortable with physical contact. Yellow means you are comfortable with a small amount of physical contact. Red is a request for people not to come close to you during the pandemic when they talk to you. So no physical contact, no handshakes, no fist bumps. You are requested to wear a mask at all times during the meeting. International conferences pose an enormous risk for the participants. We come from all different countries with different levels of pandemic threat at that point and different virus variants. So wear a mask at all times indoors, except when you're on this podium or the podium of one of the other rooms speaking. If you shall experience any symptoms, please do test. If you do test positive or cannot test and are experiencing symptoms, please do not come to the conference in person. We have provided Zoom links so you can still participate. We're trying to facilitate interactive participation on the remote platform. If you do test positive, please contact the local organizing committee so that we can try to mitigate the impact by tracing contact. This would be, of course, confidential information that you share. About the name tag, like I said, we have a couple of stickers. We have stickers that indicate your level of comfort with physical contacts. We prepare stickers for the science collaborations that you belong to so that people can see what groups you're in and what scientific interests you have. I forgot them at the hotel, but I'll bring them during the coffee break. We also have a sticker that requests people not to film you. We're going to welcome a European filming crew that is filming a documentary on Rubin construction. If you do not want to be filmed and you do not want your image to appear, if you're on Zoom, feel free to keep your camera off. If you're in person, place a black sticker, which again will be available after the break, on your name tag, and you will be removed from any videos. Some examples of different sticker configurations. As a presenter, please, we encourage you to share your image if you're on Zoom, if you can. All virtual participants should be muted. All participants in person should speak on a microphone, or the person that has the microphone in the session should repeat their question or their comment so that people can hear it on the remote platform. A little bit about the program. Not sure why that's showing blue. We have a very complex program with both scientific and social activities. The program is that you see on this slide does not include the dinner, which will happen on Wednesday. Giuseppe will talk about it. All the talks and the scientific contributions should have abstracts that are stored in the abstract tab on our website. It's a link to a document which you can browse by the name of the author, and that lists which session the scientific contribution is in. And the kind of sessions that we have a large number of plenaries. We have amazing speaker from the Rubin, the LSST Corporation, and the science collaboration that will speak to us about all aspects of Rubin. Typically the plenaries, but not exclusively. Today we have a plenary in the afternoon. Typically though, they will be in the morning. On Wednesday, we have a DEI plenary, diversity, equity, and inclusion, on effective and non-violent communication across cultural boundaries. We are a very international and complex organization, so we really care about cultural sensitivity. Science collaborations, each one of them has a plenary, with the exception of the informatic and statistics science, have a parallel, with the exception of the informatic and statistics science collaboration that has a plenary in the afternoon. The parallels are organized and managed by individuals that you can see listed here and on the dedicated Slack channel, so talk to them if you have questions about the session. We have synergy parallels for synergy with a variety of surveys and modalities of observations. We have a few other parallels, commissioning and Oxtel, low surface brightness, and the artist in residence of LSST. You may not know about this program. Michael Jones McKean will run a parallel on Thursday. There is also an unconference that's going to be tomorrow afternoon. What's an unconference? It's a space for you to plan and organize a session that covers what we have not been able to cover in the program. There is this form through which you can propose topics for the unconference through lunchtime tomorrow. So the way it works, you propose the topic on the form. From the form, starting at noon today, we'll post it on the Slack channel unconference Tuesday. You can upvote a topic that has been proposed, indicating your intention, although don't think about it as a strict commitment, just an intention to participate, so that the organizer can assign rooms to the top 3 topics. And of course, you're welcome to run the other sessions in other areas as you may find appropriate. We also have a poster session, except that they're not posters at all. To facilitate the hybrid platform, we have prepared posters in the form of videos. So people are uploading videos to a dedicated YouTube channel. In fact, one of our colleagues is uploading them, people are contributing them, and many of these videos also are featured as flash talks during the sessions. This is my last slide. I want to acknowledge loudly the people that have really made this conference happen, members of the local organizing committee by name, Dr. Giuliana Fiorentino, Dr. Marcella Di Crescenzo, Professor Dagana Ilic and Angelika Kovacevic, and Dr. Sara Bonito. These people are your local organizing committee, but make no mistakes. These are scientists, and they're incredible contributors in various scientific areas to Rubin and to the international Rubin collaboration. So don't miss their talks that are spread out through the sessions. And you may have heard that this kind of organizational and service tasks tend to fall disproportionately on women. And if you had any doubt, you wanna add this to your stack of evidence about this. With that, I am done. And where is Giuseppe?
Good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure coming from after Federica because she already mentioned almost everything. So thank you very much for joining us in presence or online. We waited a little bit before organizing this meeting because, as already mentioned by Adriano, we started long ago, but unfortunately, the COVID first and then some delay has been the main reasons why we only have had this meeting end of October. So I am going to mention only a few things on which I am very interested in, and I have to find out how this is working and see whether, no, wait a minute, I have to go this way. So first of all, the location. We are in Palazzo Corsini, and the core of this palace dates back to the 15th century. It has been renovated along the 18th century. So please be careful in moving around because this is a really delicate environment. And in particular, what is even more important than, at least for us, together with Palazzo Corsini, this is this place is run by Accademia dei Lincei. Now, the Accademia dei Lincei, I don't know whether it is the oldest, but you know, this is a problem for historians. Is for sure one of the oldest scientific academy in the world. And just to give you an idea, in 1611, Galileo Galilei became a member of the Academy, which means essentially 2 years after the introduction of the telescope. So it was a very active society from the very beginning. And you can recognize some of them in medals. That medal is for Enrico Fermi. You know, we are a little nation. And we are somehow, no, we are proud of what have been our giants. So this is just to describe what is the location and what is the institution that is hosting us. This information has already been given by Federica. I only would like to add an important point. Due to restrictions fixed by COVID, the number of participants per room are fixed. 42 in the Scienze Fisiche, 42 in Scienze Morali, 72 in the auditorium. We are not going to check the number. Please help us to stay within these limits. If you realize that the number is close to the limit, please take a look for a seat in another room, because otherwise we might receive complaints from the academia. After that, just to be more clear, for those ones that are in presence, it's very clear, but this is Scienze Fisiche, Scienze Morali. We are going to have the coffee break for Palazzo Corsini in this room. For those ones that are in the auditorium, the coffee break will be in the auditorium. For all of us, whatever is the place where you are seated, the lunch is going to be in the auditorium. Auditorium is just crossing the street. You are going to face immediately on the right Villa Farnesina, and soon after you will see that there is a single building. That building is called the auditorium, and we are in the basement of this building, where there is the hall for the meeting and the corner for coffee breaks, tea breaks, and the lunches. Now, a couple of important advertisement for the conference. For those ones that are still interested in joining us in the conference dinner, please do it within this afternoon, because this afternoon we have to frozen the list and send to the restaurant. The restaurant is Ristorante Venerina, close to the Vatican in Rome means nothing. Is essentially Borgo Pio, close to the Passetto, essentially between the Vatican and Castel Sant'Angelo. Okay, so it's a typical Roman restaurant, and I hope that within today, or at most across the lunch, we are going to put on the web the menu the vegetarian and the vegan menu. So you can take a look and see whether this is what you are, whether you are interested in joining us. Now, another important point, we are going to have an exclusive visit to Villa Farnesina. Villa Farnesina, for those ones that are not familiar with, is probably one of the most important legacy that we have in Rome of the Renaissance time. The frescoes are from Raffaello and from the Raffaello school. And we are going to have this visit on Thursday afternoon, and no one is going to be present, only us will have the opportunity to visit the villa. Even if it is reserved to us, we have to split the participants in two groups because we are going to have two different guides. So this means please register on the help desk in such a way that we can plan in advance how to move across this villa that is, as you can imagine, a bit delicate, and we have to be careful because if we are going to participate in significant number, we have to avoid problems with the number of people. Now, last point. This has already been shown by Federica. I am not going to add anything. I would like to stress in a single minute an important point. It has already been mentioned by Adriano. This is the first time that the academia is offering the three halls at once. The program is not simple at all. We are not facilitated by the location. So I would like to ask you to help us to be patient. In Italian, when you have to demonstrate something on the blackboard, we say calm and chalk. You know, so please do not be in a hurry. We are going to do our best. In particular, I am pretty sure that the members of the local organized committee and the scientific organized committee are going to do the best for helping you and for providing a pleasant environment for this week. But it is clear that everybody has to somehow to contribute for the success of the conference. And last but not least, the fact that together with the location, this location, we have been very lucky because fortunately the weather is very typical. And so we are in what are called the Ottobrate Romane, which means very, very pleasant days with sunny days. And then in the evening, the temperature is going down. So it's quite pleasant to walk around. Right now, the traffic is absolutely amazing because it's Monday. We have a new government and Macron is visiting Rome. So you can imagine what this means concerning the traffic. So my suggestion is that if you have to move, please do it by walking because you are in Rome and it is significantly easier to move around. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.